Perfectionism sucks. For those who deal with it, they always feel a sense of pressure to execute to the highest degree. Everything needs to be right. The work product has to be flawless, and everything in this video has to be so endlessly perfect. And if it isn't that way, it's blatantly wrong. It plagues countless people, and one meta-analysis even suggests that perfectionism rates have been increasing over time for the last several decades. So, what's happening here exactly? Even when we know what to do, and even though it makes us anxious, stressed, depressed, and it wastes tons of time while it burns us out, why do we still do it? Perfectionistic people fear rejection, they have a need for control, or they may have a belief that their self-worth is tied to their accomplishments. Cultural and societal norms can also heavily influence how perfectionistic you are. Maybe you have parents who always push you to do better and be better, and no matter what, you were never good enough in their eyes. They always want you to be perfect, and that's what you always strive to be, but you truly feel that you'll never get there. Humans, by nature, are flawed. There may not be such a thing as true perfection. There's only good enough, and it exists on a spectrum depending on the situation. If you have perfectionistic tendencies, you have to first understand that you need to challenge your behaviors and thought patterns, accepting the fact that perfectionism is not the right way forward. You have to process your perfectionistic tendencies and move forward without them. How do you do this? Ask yourself, what would happen if I didn't edit this video enough for it to be perfect? What if I got a B+ instead of an A+? What if I didn't organize the house as perfectly as I want it to be? What would that mean, and how would it make me feel? What would it make me think about myself? You have to grieve the idea that you cannot meet perfection because it only brings you pain, anxiety, frustration, procrastination, burnout, depression, and negative self-talk. Every time it happens, take a negative event, internalize it, and understand the ins and outs. Then accept the future for whatever it may be with a greater sense of hope that things can get better. A licensed therapist or a supportive loved one can work wonders here. Eventually, by processing your behaviors and thought patterns, you can start to see the flaws in your perfectionistic thinking. You always strive for something that only brings you pain and suffering, when in actuality, if you just executed well and did it good enough, you would be miles ahead than where you were before trying to get it done perfectly. By trying to be perfect, you're messing up your mental health, slowing down, and becoming more and more imperfect. This is the exact opposite of what your brain is always trying to achieve, right? This will make it less paralyzing over time. As it becomes less paralyzing, you can act more efficiently and you can learn effectively to move forward. Paradoxically, this makes you much closer to getting that A+ than when you were trying to be perfect all the time. Let me know in the comments if you struggle with perfectionism. For those of you that are new here, my name's Jeff and my goal is to make psychology make sense. If you've been enjoying the content so far, any support for the channel would be greatly appreciated. I also have a link in the description below for exclusive psychology content. Thank you for hanging out. Simple things like meditation and journaling can go such a long way here because they can help you reflect on why you do it, where it comes from, and how it makes you feel. It can help you grieve and understand that there are better ways to be kind to yourself than fighting for perfection endlessly. In addition to this, try setting smarter goals using the acronym SMARTER. I've talked about this a lot before on the channel. On the screen now are the criteria you should follow when setting goals. Make sure you really challenge yourself on the attainable aspect. This will help keep you accountable for actually making things happen in a timely fashion while also being realistic and putting your best foot forward. Finally, learn from the past and walk through your perfectionistic pain. Celebrate when you manage to move forward on a task without it. Be kind to yourself and take your time. Achieving perfection starts with letting perfection go. Embrace uncertainty. Remember to focus on progress over perfection. You have to ask yourself, why do I only need to be kind to myself when I progress? What if you're kind to yourself even when you don't progress? Grieve the perfect self you have imagined in your head. Realize the flaws in your circular, unproductive thinking. Meditate, journal, set smarter goals, reflect on the past, and learn from your mistakes. By taking this approach, watch what happens to your mental health and happiness. You'll be one step closer to a more productive and fulfilling life. If you're interested in other topics in psychology, be sure to check out my last video on catastrophic thinking. So for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.